Hello you. I'm Huvakoria. Try pronouncing that. 2 projects down. 3 to go. It's the time for the 3rd one. That is, I could have started Monday, I could have started Tuesday, but I chose to update the older projects first to get them out the way. I'm pretty happy with them both right now, at least when it comes to the technical aspects. I'm also trying something new when it comes to streaming. I've set up a very rickety, very cheap standing desk solution. Hopefully it doesn't affect anything. That didn't pick up, right? No, it didn't seem to pick it up. Yes, it's a bit shaky. But enough of that. Let's jump into the meat and potatoes of today's stream. Yes. The project, the 3rd project. Well, in fact, I have ideas for all of them. I know what types of projects I want to create for the next 3 projects. Might as well create a document. Yes, I had a few issues with with Mint. I was supposed to reinstall it last week as I had some time off, but I didn't have the time. It's better to not worry about these things on a holiday. But the weird thing is that the menu broke. It doesn't give me any applications anymore, which is interesting. So while I've been starting things from the terminal, which is all right. I'll need to fix that eventually. Back to the projects. So I have 3 projects left. One of them is gonna be probably the next one. It's gonna be a exploration, digital experience. So a digital experience in the, let's put it that way, digital experience, not the gender, the genre is exploration. Okay, how about 2? Then I'd like to create an interactive simulation in, let's call it, in the society genre. And the 3rd one's gonna be an interactive novel. And, well, I'm not even sure what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like something like that. These 2 are, I think I'll keep these in the back burner for now. So they're just gonna go away. Wait, I could just do that, yes. This one's pretty clear. This one's a bit less clear. But I think I'll go for this one now. They should be pretty simple and is mostly about the visuals, which means it's a very challenging project for me. And it's also about creating these virtual worlds. well, it's an experience about exploration, so it's well, I don't need a subtitle. So first person, let's just have a list. First person, it's going to be walking and flying, because walking around is boring, so flying around is much more interesting. And most importantly, this needs to feel good. Not the walking necessarily, but the flying part. Then there's gonna be a camera. Let's have that in quotation marks. So taking pictures. This is something I've always liked. I've always liked it in anything really. For instance, Beyond Good and Evil. I have many issues with that title, but taking pictures is not one of them. Just exploring the world, trying to find things. We all always had some kind of an objective to go for, but I didn't really care. The story, I didn't really care, but taking pictures, great. So that's something I'm gonna have. Yeah, okay. So a variety of worlds, like 3 to 5. Depends on how long it takes to make one. Obviously, it's better to have less, more fleshed out than more that are just kind of naff. So maybe I'll aim for, looking at the schedule, 4 might work, but 3 might be better. Well, we'll get to that. So what kind of worlds do I have in mind? Well, this is a bit of, we're gonna do some brainstorming now. So one idea is a microscopic world with bacteria, and I mean, obviously if it's first person, it's 3D too, so just putting that out there. So bacteria, and then phages, not with an F, with a G. Phages, DNA, etc. Because I really like these. I really like phages. I'm gonna look up a picture. Something like that. Something like that. It's a pretty neat looking thing. And they are everywhere, by the way. So don't be afraid. They're pretty useful as far as I've understood. In medicine, they can be used to target viruses, for instance, or bacteria. But I'm just gonna have them as things moving around the world. Maybe you can hitch a ride on one. That would be fun. But I'll see about that. It would be kind of cool to have like a very dynamic world. For instance, this one. So if there's a lot of single cell organisms like these moving around, and then the phages are jumping from one to the other, doing things. Or then maybe it should be about strands of DNA. Or something like that. Oh, but that's smaller stuff, isn't it? Because that there's supposed to be DNA. Huh. So that would be even more microscopic. Oh well, I'll need to decide on that. I do like these guys though, so they're probably gonna be in. That's one idea. And then obviously adding one thing into the let's just say key features here. Key features. Let's just say, well, secrets. Things to find. What's the point of exploration if there's nothing to find? And I guess there should also be, well, let's say the geometry isn't quite the right word here, but topology maybe. Anyways, it's understandable. So that's one. Another one is like good old floating islands, of course. There's a lot of fog. Then we can have the sun. Let's just write it like this, because they look neat. Then castles and kind of, and then some flying creatures maybe. Okay, this is very basic. I guess I found one. Something like Wildlands, which I've actually tried. It's quite a bit of fun. Of course, it's about grappling hooks, not flying. But I like the very simple white towers and structures. Because yeah, I'm going for a style like this again. I'm not too keen on texturing. For instance, these textures here. Very cartoony, very simple. I can do that. I don't like realistic looking things, and I can't make them, so those two go hand in hand. Let's just put it in. I'm not sure. Inlands. I have no idea. That is understandable though. Okay, so another one could be not a microscopic world, but a small world. So think of kind of mosquito size, so you can fly around, let's say, a house. And kind of see the world in a different perspective. Which has been done, of course. It has been done. So it could be something more wild. The great thing about this idea is that I can start with one of these, spend a week on it, make it really good, and then just jump onto another one. They don't need to have anything to do with each other, which is nice. I like that. Well, obviously, there's going to be a hub world. Well, not obviously, I guess, but this is the idea. So there's a hub world, which is a small planet, and on that planet, there's going to be all the, you can browse all the photos. All the photos you've taken, and you can travel to, well, I guess it's more important to, you can travel to the other world from there, and then you can browse all the photos you've taken, because that's the whole point. That's the thing I'm really interested in here. Like, is it enough to have a digital experience? Because people are very used to checklists and objectives and trying to win and not to lose, all these things that I'm not going to have here. I'm not going to have any of that. It's an experience about exploration. That's it. And the only objective you have is taking pictures, and even that's optional. Nobody forces you to take a single one. Kind of like visiting yeah, kind of like tourism. Let's put that in. Yeah, so virtual tourism with more flying, because who doesn't like that? You could also think of it as a dream. Let's not put these in here. Something like that. Okay, so these are the ones I had in my mind. Those 3. How about some more? They could be in space, of course. Like asteroid and stuff. Or maybe mines. Something like this, something like the mines in Descent, which are kinda complex and interesting at times. Now it's giving me an issue there. Let's check. Let's check again. Not Alakajam. Oh. I guess it's more like that. And there's supposed to be a... Does it work like that? Huh, there we go. Never written that one before. Mines a la Descent. Maybe, I mean, space is very trite, but it's there. It could also be some kind of a technological maze. So some sci-fi stuff. Yep. I can't do too complicated things, because that would take too much time, too many graphical assets. And that's the problem with, I mean, I like the idea of creating separate worlds, but obviously they can't share assets. So that's a problem. They can't really share assets at all. The only thing that is shared is the movement and the camera systems. That's not great. But I think I can do at least 3. 3 different worlds. Yes, let's break all rules of writing style. How about System Shock 1? I like how it looks. And I like that the people working on the remake, reimagining, Kickstarter, whatever, went back to that kind of style. I hold no hope that they're gonna release anything, but good luck to them. Okay, what else? So now I'm kind of out of ideas. Let's just cheat. Yep, space. That's a lot of space. Oh yeah, that's floating islands. Ooh. That's too much. Now that I like. Diesel engine. This is pretty cool. I mean, that's a diesel engine. That's a human. Wow. But that's an idea that looks kind of like an apartment complex, really. Some kind of a mechanical massive machine. That would be a lot of work though. But hey, it would look cool, so. Complex. So, kind of a massive engine of factory. Now that I think about it, there's the do you write it like that or like this? Let's find out. Apparently like that, because it doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, it was demolished in 94. But that kind of a urban maze, I guess that's the best way I can summarize it. But once again, that would be a lot of work, so they've built a park where the walled city used to be. Interesting. Worth a visit, I reckon. Yep. Okay. Think of something more. Like underwater. That would be a whole lot of work. All sorts of shaders. I mean, a fun thing, sure, but can I make it in a week? Probably not. But there are, of course, lots of references. What are they called? That's the famous one. There was another one made with Java, if I can remember correctly. Can I find it? Nope, can't find it. Really, apart from having to create fancy shaders, underwater isn't that bad. Just need a few fish. Some fish. And convincing looking sand. Ocean floor. You can have sort of like caves and stuff. Oh man, that's a lot of work. Of like a sunken battleship. Yep, that's too much work. Anyways, it's good to have the idea. These can be combined. I mean, these alone are really boring. Like underwater space. Some kind of mechanical place. But if I can combine them, maybe. And just have a bit of fun. I'm not gonna stick to oh dear. There's a reason why I'm browsing on the other screen. Some of these pictures are rather odd, to say the least. Oh dear. Well, some kind of a sci-fi cityscape. Clean and vast. Ooh. Yeah. So basically the world tree. A massive tree with all sorts of things in it. Not necessarily the Norse one. Although I can add in the required flavor. Yeah, not necessarily, because it has 9 different locations. That's 8 too many. I could be a massive tree. I mean, that could go well with the floating islands idea. Because it could have something, well, like passageways through it and these big carved out areas inside it. Stuff like that. That's inspirational. That's nice. Because if you take the water away, and if you imagine these as floating islands, then they could be symmetrical on the imaginary horizontal axis. I'll have to keep that one. Whoa. Yeah, no. Well, that's dandy. Whoa. Why don't I have save search on? Okay, somebody made neat things people make in Minecraft. Yep, okay, so that didn't really inspire me. Yeah, so fantasy world. Is it much better? Well, that's not too bad. Not too keen on all this detail, but I can tone it down. So there's one. Kind of like a... I mean, this could be mapped to a donut. And then it would just... There would be stuff on the outside and the inside. Maybe less biological, but, you know. Here's something to the city. To the floating cities idea. Hot air balloons and blimps. Here's a classic. In fact, I'm reading one of the novels at the moment. The very last one. It's not too grim. It starts off a bit grim. I like this one for some reason. They would be like in the space theme. I mean, these separate planets and then different kind of things on them. Oh, yeah, you could be big too. If you can be small, you can be big. So there could be a lot of these small. Yeah, because I like that in... Oh, wow. That's blast from the past. Let's see if I can find a... these are all pretty bad. It's a title called Slave Zero. I mean, it's really old, so makes sense. These images aren't very high resolution. Oh, that's the best one I can find. It looks pretty crappy. Oh, and another one is the one Monolith made with mechs. Why can't I remember the name? Shogo. Man, it looks worse than I remembered. But it has the same kind of idea. You're massive and the environment is full of little people and cars, and I mean, in comparison, some of the buildings are kind of big, but you see it from a slightly different perspective. There's also a certain level in Psychonauts. It's been a while since I played this one. Weird stuff. Really weird stuff pops up. Yeah, well, it's not the best level in Psychonauts, so makes sense. Nobody would have, not even a single screenshot. Yeah, but it's the one underground or underwater, I guess, where you get to stomp around a city. I'm not sure, maybe something like that, because making small buildings is kind of easy. Especially if the textures are kept simple. Yeah, if they use just separate materials, that could work. But not like this. This doesn't look very good. Not like that. Okay, let's try to find one more idea. One more idea. Something a bit more wild. Yeah, I guess that's an idea. So kind of like some kind of a colossus or massive animal, I guess, that you can climb or walk on it or something, that just travels around. Yeah, not a big fan of that idea. It's very complicated technically. Very complicated. But these ideas, it's fine because I can start with this one. I really want to make these. That's for sure. So I'm gonna start with this one. And then I can just pick and choose and really think about it. Alright, so that's the idea. So let's look at the schedule. Yep, so last week was holidays. These 2 days I worked on the other projects. Guess I could mark them as extra. So here we are, the 6th of June. So 3 days per prototype, maybe 5 if I work over the weekend. Really, for the prototype, the only thing I really need is walking, flying, camera, and kind of gravity. Local, let's call it. Oh, where did it go? Where are you going? Let's call it local gravity. So I've done that sort of things before a few times, and I already have code for it, I think. But we'll see about that. So here I initially set 3 weeks for alpha, 4 weeks for beta, and then 1 for release, so that's 9 weeks. Kind of, yeah, well, if I take those 2 days, it's 9 weeks. Which is not a lot. It's not a lot. Now, really, I could do something radical here. Go for more beta. Oh, come on. I could do that. What's there to do for alpha? It's just this stuff. So I guess a few days for the menus, because if I can get the menus done already, then I can just concentrate. How many weeks is it now? 5? Yeah, so 5 weeks for the worlds and audio, which I guess this is audio. That's audio. Might as well use the colors again. So that's going to be well, not those days. Yep. Then a few days for menus. Whoops. So this is going to be the hub world, because I don't really need the hub world. It's very simple. Very simple, but I don't really need it, so I'm just going to have it as the last thing. But of course that only leaves 3 weeks, so I guess it's 3 worlds. Let's just have that one as a certainty. That is something I want. There's gonna be Huh. It automatically changed the color. That's neato. Oh, so one source of inspiration I might use. Yeah, because things are coming back. Things are coming back. This is quite old. This is quite old. But I remember as a kid, I played this one. Well, let's see. This one, I'm not even sure if that's gonna show up. Let's see. Here it does. Great. So, as you can see, the levels are pretty complicated and massive. And the level editor in this engine, because it's more of a, you can play it, sure. There is this Quake style competition on top of it, but it's really the level editor that's pretty neat. And the comes with a whole lot of levels. So I might take a look at some of the things people have made in this engine. It's neat stuff. Yeah, I spent a lot of time as a kid just looking at things people had done. I never bothered learning the editor very well. Some of those must be custom 3D models, right? It's kind of like a cube-based, like the name suggests. It's a cube-based system, and then you can smooth things out and play deathmatch, because that's the height of interactivity. Anyways, that just sprung to mind. Guess I should write it down. Yep. Audio. Yep. That's good. The last time, let's just have a little save system. I don't even need a very complicated save system this time. I don't think I need one at all. Yeah, I might not need one at all. So I'm just gonna write it here. Maybe some kind of a checkpoint based thing. Because that's just saving a serial number. It couldn't be simpler than that. Checkpoints. Yeah, so a week per world, that is kind of tight. Because I need to design world itself, create a temp of it, test it, then start making graphics for it. And some special systems, like these phages, are going to move around in a certain way. If this is the floating islands one, it's just going to have birds going around, probably on splines or something, so that's different. And then who knows what this is going to be. But this is simple. Oh, small planet. Or planetoid. I only did 4 of them this time, which is nice. Is there anything else? Well, I did look at jams. If there was a fitting jam right now on itch, but these aren't quite. Nothing really fits. What is that? Average day in life jam. I don't think flying around counts. Let's see what they say. Oh, live simulation. Well, now I'm interested. Remake jam. This sounds like fun. Remake your very first project. My very first project. It doesn't really need remaking. It's that simple. Space jam. More than one dimension. That kind of fits. But I'm not gonna have any of the dimensions done or any of the worlds done in time, so... Oh, come on. The one I was interested in, it's not gonna load it. That's a shame. Right, but that's out the window. I didn't even check it in the last project. I didn't even bother looking for a jam. But now I did. So I don't really have much more to say. I want to get to Kraken. That flying bit, it's gonna be fun to implement something in first person again. Been a while. So stream over. Farewell.